If there's any one food item that is not on the carnivore diet or on any diet that is focused on clean eating, that seems to get a lot of people tripped up, or people just, when they finally put this stuff in their past, they still have an attachment to. They still miss it. They will readily admit that they miss. And it's sodas, soft drinks. Specifically, like usually diet sodas. For whatever reason, people miss their Diet Pepsi, their Pepsi Zero, their Coke Zero, whatever it is. And people usually will be very upfront in saying that they miss the fizzy drinks. And so I have some news for you today about a food item that was announced yesterday for the 4th of July as a promotional item. No, I'm not trying to sell this to you. I'm trying to warn you about it because it's being introduced by one of the big soft drink companies. And it's, well, let's just get right into the story. So our headline comes from NBC News. Pepsi introduces Cola Chup, a ketchup infused with cola. People on Twitter had some strong reactions to the new offering, with many giving the seal of approval, because of course they did. You know, I'm sure there's many of you who will readily admit that you have no problem consuming Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero, whatever it is, that those diet soft drinks, the hang-ups that some people have, some of the negative reactions that some people can have to artificial sweeteners, but it's your vice. It's your one thing, right? And you hang on to it and you promise yourself you'll quit. I think many of us have been there, and it's definitely part of that transition out of the standard American diet or like dirty keto to clean keto, clean carnivore thing that people have. And it's one of the last things people give up. And I can see that many of you will almost certainly be interested in this, even if you won't admit it. So I'm going to declare my comment section a safe space today. Are you interested in trying Pepsi-infused ketchup? Let me know if you are in the comments, please. I personally am not. They say this stuff will pair wonderfully with hot dogs. Now, I know a lot of you love your Oscar Mayer hot dogs, and I'll be the first to tell you, yes, hot dogs and those kind of things are either a once-in-a-while okay treat, I guess, if you want to have a dirty carnivore moment, to be a nice guest at someone's party or whatever. And yes, if all you can do is really dirty carnivore, Vienna sausages and hot dogs and bologna and all that, the processed meats that, the world tells us are really bad for you, and carnivore influencers will tell you are bad for you for typically the right reasons, namely the fillers, that they're not, strictly speaking, the best things you should be eating, but you will still have a much better experience eating a carnivore diet loaded with that stuff than you would eating the standard American diet. Yes, most of us will admit that that's true, and that you should also work on whatever's keeping you from being able to be, a much cleaner carnivore and get to that position so you can take care of it. Yes. Many of you love your hot dogs. Personally, I don't care for hot dogs. They're not my thing. I've never liked them unless they were on a barbecue grill scorched beyond recognition. But that's just me. I always preferred beef. Hamburgers, steaks, whatnot. But this is being marketed as pairing ideally with a hot dog, which, if you know anything about like hot dog culture in America, putting ketchup on a hot dog is like one of the weirdest, most divisive food quandaries out there. It's almost up there with talking politics at Thanksgiving. Do you put ketchup on a hot dog or not? Because I never really liked hot dogs, I actually, in my past, was a ketchup on a hot dog person. Because they were okay. They were never my thing. Well, let's take a look at what NBC here is going to tell us in this article. So, quote, "Oh, say can you Pepsi? On Independence Day, the soft drink brand will unveil Pepsi Cola Chup, which is exactly what you think it is, ketchup infused with Pepsi. Pepsi teamed up with the Culinary Institute of America Consulting to create the condiment that beverage company says is ideal to put on hot dogs. Pepsi has long been part of American culture, and its cool, crisp taste has been a favorite beverage choice for generations of Americans. We have always known that hot dogs taste better with Pepsi, and now the experts think so too," says some senior director there. "We invented Pepsi Cola Chup to reinforce just how well hot dogs and Pepsi go together. An unapologetically mouth-watering creation that seamlessly merges a condiment with the ultimate hot dog pairing beverage, delivering a unified taste experience," she added. "The concept is both simple and creative. The distinctive flavors and vibrant citrus blend of Pepsi enhances the bright and tangy characteristics of ketchup, offsetting the smokiness of the hot dog," said David Kamen, Director of Client Experience for CIA Consulting. What an unfortunate name for a consulting firm. "It's a whole new way to enjoy two American classics." End quote. Okay. I'm not going to try this. My plans for 4th of July are to start smoking a brisket on the 3rd, right before I go to bed. Put it into my pellet grill, put it on the extreme smoke setting, and then in the middle of the night, when I get up to do my usual work that morning, or go before I go to the gym or whatever it is I end up doing Tuesday morning, I will turn it to a more proper brisket temperature setting. That's my big plan. I have very humble plans for Independence Day. No fireworks for us. My autistic 4-year-old son would do well with fireworks. Maybe get together with some family, have some brisket. Maybe I'll pick up a rack of pork ribs or something. We'll have a nice time. Hot dogs will not be on the menu, and Pepsi Cola Chup will not be on the menu. Now, I shouldn't have to tell you this. They don't really give you a good look at the bottle that this will be in. They don't really tell you what company they're teaming up with for Pepsi. When you look at the list of companies Pepsi owns, they own a lot of them, but they're mostly snack companies and beverage companies. They don't actually really disclose, or it's not publicly known, at least with an easy search anyway. I'm too lazy, I guess, to look deep to see which of them, if they own any of the major food companies. I know they don't own Kraft Heinz. That's owned by Kraft. Now, for those of you who are wondering, yes, I want to try this, how can I find it? Well, for now, there's no plans to put this in a bottle. You got to go to a baseball stadium. According to Nasdaq.com, yes, the stock trader, they have an article on this, and here they say this, quote, "Unfortunately, most consumers may not have the opportunity to taste Cola Chup for themselves. The condiment will only be available on July 4th at sampling carts located within 4 Major League Baseball parks: Chase Field in Phoenix, Yankee Stadium in New York, Target Field in Minneapolis, and Comerica Park in Detroit. PepsiCo has not disclosed any plans for wider rollout of a retail version of Cola Chup in the near future." End quote. Look, if this is a hit, and the buzz it's generating online, if it's a hit, people come back and say, "This is amazing, Pepsi. We beg you, please sell." I guarantee you, in a year, you will see this stuff at your local Walmart. It's going to be there. Now, people report that this stuff is disgusting. We may be in the clear. But this is what Pepsi is doing. But I got to ask, would you try this stuff? Are you braver than I am? I am very curious because, I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those guys who kind of misses diet sodas. And it's not easy. It's easy for me to slip up and go, "Oh man, Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero, whatever." It's a vice. And so I'm not perfect about it. But I have zero desire to try Cola Chup. That just sounds repulsive. Especially since most of the non-health food aisle ketchup brands, we're not talking Primal Kitchen or Sir Kensington's here. Most of those brands don't have any added sugar to them. But your regular Heinz ketchups and your Hunt's ketchup and the rest, that stuff's made with high fructose corn syrup usually, or cane sugar. So when you talk about Pepsi infused, you're probably also getting a little added corn syrup. This stuff's going to be unbelievably sweet, almost certainly. And that just doesn't sound good to me. Honestly, if you want a Pepsi infused ketchup, there are recipes to make it yourself online, or you could just have a Pepsi product with your hot dog instead of trying to go to a baseball stadium on 4th of July. But then again, if you're going to go there, let me know. Let me know if you're a baseball fan and you plan to be at one of those stadiums and now you're going to try the stuff. Or take a picture of the lines and send me one. I'm very curious. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. And like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for tuning in today.